Good morning, South Beach. Good morning, South Beach. Here we are for episode number 16 of the Fifth Street Gym podcast with our special guest, Roberto CYBORG ABREU. Did I say it right?
Yes, sir, you did.
My man, all right. Who is a multiple world champion Jiu Jitsu player and has the baddest school that I actually am a white belt at that I go to. I'm very proud to go there. And here he is as our special guest, so thank you for coming.
It's amazing, it's great to be here with you guys. And more even amazing to have your friendship. This guy is so inspiring. Every day, day in, day out, they come there working hard. And he's a great coach, an amazing coach. Dino also comes and teaches us, very kindly, his amazing skills. I'm a white belt at boxing, but I believe that this kind of relation here, that's what makes life good, huh?
Actually, every Friday night, I go to the Jiu Jitsu Academy. Where is the academy? For everyone to know.
It's on 61st Street, 339 Northeast 61st Street in Miami.
So I go there every Friday night to teach boxing basics to the jiu-jitsu fighters, and he takes class, so humble, it's so much fun, and it's been a blast. The school is huge, and 6,200 square feet
6,200,
with triple ceilings, and it's probably the cleanest jiu-jitsu school I've ever been to. So whoever's doing the cleaning job is on point.
We try hard.
On point. So not only that, but you still compete. How old are you now?
40.
40, and still compete at the highest level. I love watching, and now I'm hooked on jiu-jitsu videos, so I watch all your videos like a nerd. What is considered your greatest fight?
Well, I think my greatest fight is every day when I wake up. You know what I mean? Because I believe that our greatest challenge is ourselves. You know what I mean? Of course, I have 16 years on the black belt division. I have been top 3 in the world for those 16 years. And I was always my worst enemy. Everything happened inside of your mind. The consistency that we have to have, the mindset that we have to have in order to become a champion is something, or even to continue to be a champion is something really hard, and that. You guys have a bunch of athletes here. You deal with that day in, day out. And my career is a little bit different from other people. So I actually won my first world title when I was already 30 years old. And by 30, usually the guys are wanting to stop. People actually counting their days so they can turn 30 to fight on the Masters division, which is 30 and over, And at 30, I actually won my first world title at adult division, which is the top, the top division there is. And since then, the last 10 years, I've accumulated almost 10 world titles. And every year again, there's a lot of things on. Man, this guy's getting old, he's gonna retire, this and that. And I believe that the mindset into that, the love and the passion that I have for Jiu-Jitsu, gives me the mindset to keep on going and keep on pushing myself into.
Did something change in the mindset from 25, 28, 29, 30? Did something change in your brain?
Maturity. I moved to US in order to mature myself. In Brazil, I'm from Brazil. I'm from a city called Campo Grande, in Mato Grosso do Sul, and I started training Jiu-Jitsu at 17 years old, right? So I started training and started competing and started doing good. I came to US when I was 17. I trained for 3 months, and I came to US to study English here as an exchange student. And I got my blue belt here in Spokane, Washington.
Oh, wow.
I used to live in Plummer, Idaho. So yes, at 17 years old. So because my dad was a farmer in Brazil, and he wanted me to be in the same kind of environment we had in Brazil. So he sent me there, which was the most amazing experience of my life, right? It forced me to actually learn English, experiment a different culture, So it was a really life-changing experience that I've had. But again, I got my blue belt here, but the level of jiu-jitsu here wasn't nearly as good as Brazil. So whenever I went back to Brazil, every blue belt would whoop my ass, right? And I got so much trouble, like it got me questioning if I really want to still do jiu-jitsu or not, you know, because I had a big ego, you know, like I was a fighter, I used to love street fight.
Who was the coach in Spokane?
It was a guy called James. Called James. After everything, I tried to get back and try to reach out and try to find him, but I could never actually find the guy. But anyways, I came back through Miami, spent some days here with my uncle. My mom's brother lives in Miami. And then I went back to Brazil, ended up getting back into jiu-jitsu, started training, competing, did my life, graduating physical education and international business, you know, did my degree on those. But I decided that I want actually to live off of jiu-jitsu, you know. So
for some people that know jiu-jitsu, they know this, but like for myself, Dino knows, but for boxing people that might want to know, tell us a little bit about the competition. I know there's Abu Dhabi and there's Absolute, just so they have an understanding.
We're gonna get there. So let me just
no gi.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. So just for finishing the thing here, why did I mention where I started? Because where I started in Brazil, you talk about Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you think entire Brazil has jiu-jitsu, which does not.
It's not.
Where I came from, there was no jiu-jitsu there, right? So I'm self-taught in jiu-jitsu. I had my Master Toko in Rio, and every time I want to train jiu-jitsu, I had to take a 23 hours bus to go to Rio to train with him for the week of the competition there. I would learn in Nova Geração, which was a temple for me, you know?
Wow.
And I would train there for about 2 weeks and go back to Pantanal, where I'm from, and make up the techniques and, you know, like build my own students and make it happen. So back then I was, you know, like I used to love the fight. And I believe that we can relate to that on anything, right? We can relate to that in boxing, in business. Whenever you don't have the experience or the proper approach to the sport, I could never actually achieve, like I always was very talented. A lot of people always told me that I could accomplish, but I would always freeze when I would go to competition, either freeze mentally because I wanted so much that I couldn't accomplish, or I didn't have the human material to actually put me on the level that I needed to be in order to accomplish, you know, the great titles, you know? So I believe that what has changed on me is that before becoming an athlete, I had to become a professor and a leader, because I had to build my own students in order to have the training that I need to have in order to become the champion that I am today.
Yeah.
You know, so the maturity that, you know, like all those years maturing, building my team, whenever I turned 30, I already had a human resource behind my back that could actually make it CYBORG happen.
So you needed the time, essentially.
I believe that the different people mature in different ways, you know, and I had my own way of maturing. I really appreciate having my career happen that way. You know,
you said something interesting. You go to a competition and you felt like you couldn't compete for some reason. And the first time I ever did, when I fought, I trained. And the first time out, I lost. And I just had that feeling like I never want this to happen again. I mean, did you ever have that feeling when you compete and you maybe lose, or because you said before that you compete and you couldn't basically do what you wanted to do?
A million times, right? Like I said in the beginning, like we are our worst enemy. You know, we always have the angel and the demons, you know what I mean? Like the angel supporting you, telling you what to do. And you have the other side saying that's too hard, it's too difficult, the guys are too good. You know, all the excuse that we tell ourselves why not to accomplish something, you know? So I've had that a million times. I won my first world title after having 13 years of training. You know what I mean? So that, in jiu-jitsu, it's a long period of time. Most of people would have already gave up, you know, but I never did, because by the time I hit my 30s, I was just like, yes, I'm just beginning, you know? So I even have a podcast that's called Age Just a Number. You know, that it's important for everybody else, for all of us to realize that doesn't matter how long it takes for us to actually find the point of maturity in our game, in our technique, in order to accomplish what we have to accomplish, there's always time.
Why did it take you so long? What do you feel took you so long? Was it you would freeze or you would train? What was it? Was it just mental? Or the reasons for that?
Yeah, I think that number one, I didn't have the human resource to actually put me on the level that I need to be. You know what I mean? So okay, again, you know, like in a competition of jiu-jitsu, it's not one fight. You do multiple fights in one day. You know, so I would beat some really good guys, but whenever it come semifinals, finals, I was very exhausted already because at home, I never had actually the guys who would push me to those limits. So I would be exhausted by the time that I would actually go to the finals and get the best guys, you know what I mean? Or just mentally, you know, you get there because I was always told that I had the potential to be like a world champion, like, you know, like a very good athlete. And then every time I would get there, I wouldn't get into the mats with the mindset of I am the champion, I'm going to win. I would get there and say I cannot lose. And there's a huge difference in between you have the confidence of the champion and you're not wanting to lose that spot. So there's a phrase that I have that man has carried me for my entire life, and that is, you can never have something you're afraid to lose. You know what I mean? A lot of us, for a lot of times, we want something so much, you know, that whenever it gets time to face, you're so much more afraid to lose than you actually are ready to conquer that stuff. You know what I mean? So whenever we get to the point that we're gonna win championships, that we're gonna close a big business, that we're gonna go do things on that scale, I believe that you mature into that point. Some people, they mature young. Some people, they have to go through things in life in order to get that maturity, you know, to get there and not wanting to become or wanting to be a champion, but assuming the posture of a champion, actually, you know, because the moment that I stopped wanting to be what everybody wanted me to be, and I said, I am, everything changed. You know, so whenever I get the approach to compete today, a lot of times I'm not nearly as ready that when I used to be when I was younger. But the confidence, the heart, everything's in the right place.
Maturity.
The maturity. Everything's in the right place. Doesn't matter what's going on, you look at the guy, you're like, welcome to my world. Let's do this.
So now, I know you love Jiu Jitsu. I know that you'll like roll, spar with anybody, anytime. You take the class with all the young guns all the time, where you make the mat sweat till it looks like a swimming pool. I understand, but what motivates you to do the non-Jiu Jitsu training? I see you in the weight room, lifting, doing cardio, all that extra it's kind of boring stuff. What made it motivate you to do that part of it, the tedious part?
I believe that, you know, if you want to become a champion, you gotta do what it takes for you to become the champion. It's not what you want, it's what it has to be done. You know? And it's very important for us who choose to have that lifestyle, who choose to live that path, to learn how to fall in love with it. So truly, I love what I do. There wouldn't have anything other in this world that I would rather do than waking up, work out, put my gi or put my rash guard and go train Jiu-Jitsu. I do believe that in order for us to have success in anything we choose to do in life, we have to be passionate about what we do. We have to love it. Because a lot of times people do it for the wrong reasons. They do it because of the attention, they do it because of the money, because of the success, you know what I mean? And a lot of times those people get lost along the way just because...
Have you ever got lost along the way doing it?
I'm still here.
So you
never got lost.
Like, you know, you've always been driven and what you want.
Always. On the beginning I was, though. When I was younger I was. You know, even that's the reason why I started Jiu-Jitsu. Because I was a kid that was crazy, you know, like I wasn't focused enough. I used to, like in Brazil, there's just so many distractions, you know, like, man, I got involved with the wrong things, with like, you know, like, so it's a bunch of bad choices that you take that has a lot to do with the environment that you're in and the spot that you put yourself, you know what I mean? So that's why even I came to US to actually have an athlete life, because in Brazil life was still good, you know? And I was like kind of lost because I was hanging out with people who were athletes and they have a different life. And you gotta understand that, you know, like everything in life is a choice. If I choose to be an athlete, if I choose to be a champion, that choice has to be made, not when I go to compete, but every day when I wake up.
Did you think
so? We have to be surrounded of people who are like-minded, who are have the same goals as we are. We have to have the lifestyle that's gonna lead us, you know, to what we want to do, you know, so we can't have distractions.
And that's what I was going to ask you. Did you think you were going to be an athlete when you were younger, or something that developed as you became a little bit older in the teenage years? Or something you craved, you know, like little kids, I want to be a soccer player?
No, I always had a great support of my parents. My parents are amazing. They're like, You know, like those parents that they have the cheerleader thing on the back, and you know, they're always on my corner. They always, you know, like my mom still treats me like I'm a not even 5, a 2-year-old baby. Every time I call my mom, I gotta make sure that I don't have nobody around me. Because when I talk to her, she's like, "Oh, my boo." It's like, "Mom, cyborg, mom, come on, cyborg." You know, you took me so many years to get to the point I am right now. You gotta screw everything up in 2 seconds. Come on, you know. So I was really loved when I was a kid, and I had all the support in the world of my parents. And I always played sports. Even before doing Jiu Jitsu, I always played some sort of sports. Even sometimes whenever, you know, like so I always had the talent into doing that. So everything I did really well. When I was a swimmer, I won the state championships multiple times, you know, and then I did every sport that I did great. I did great. But at 17, I found Jiu Jitsu and I felt completely in love with it. If you would ask me back then if I would see myself where I am today, not even the best of my dreams, because there was an opportunity. My friends all like driving nice cars, like, "Man, what you do for a living?" It's like, "Oh, I teach Jiu-Jitsu." Like, "Man, what's wrong with you? You know, go get yourself a job." And I was like, Jiu-Jitsu has changed me in so many ways. I believe the sport, right? The sport, you're finding something that you're passionate about can change you deeply. And it has changed me in a way that completely did a 180 in my life. You know, like I used to drink, I used to party a lot, drugs. And I used to be like really hot-headed, I used to fight all the time. And Jiu-Jitsu really humbled me and put me on a path that I believed that if the art could do that to me, there would be no other job that I couldn't do in my life that I could use as an instrument to change other people's lives. And that's why I chose Jiu-Jitsu. Even though when I opened Fight Sports, I was a purple belt with 22 years old, 23 years old. And again, I never even thought that I could get a black belt one day. Becoming a world champion, come on. It's too far from my eyes, you know what I mean? So I really did it from the beginning. I'm not a planner. I never planned anything that has happened to me. I'm a doer, you know, I put my head down, I put my heart into everything I do, and I make sure I do with passion, and make sure that, you know, the intentions are always right, you know what I mean? Of course, we can't do it right every time, but we're trying to do it right, you know what I mean? And I believe that's what has driven me my entire life. Passion and, you know, and the heart in the right place.
I'm going to throw one more quick question. There's a guy named David Goggins. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah.
Okay. He calls himself Goggins, but he's David Goggins. You just said something interesting, cyborg. What's the difference between, I would say, Humberto and cyborg? What's the difference between those kind of two characters?
Now, I don't believe there is, because I assume the character of being cyborg. You know what I mean? I believe that it's very important. Again, you have to take on the role of becoming your superhero. I do believe that. You know, a lot of people, they ask me, "Oh yeah, it's too easy to say that, you know, to train this hard or to do these things because you're cyborg." It's like, no, man, it's really hard to be cyborg, you know? There's a lot of days that I wake up and I do not want to be cyborg, believe me. I want to hide under my bed, you know what I mean? But if you want to become a leader, if you want to, you know, like truly have influence on other people's lives, and if you want to more than anything, be proud of the man who you are. You have to take on the responsibility of doing the hard choices, you know? So I see that Cyborg and Roberto are one person right now, you know, and because I assumed the role of trying to be the best I could be for the rest of my life, you know? And again, you know, I try very hard every single day, you know, like every day I wake up, I train, I'm always pushing myself, always competing, always challenging. For multiple times, guys like, "Oh, the fall of a legend. Now he's done. He's gonna retire." And then I make sure to come back and put the word back to the mouth of whoever said. You know, like last year at 40 years old, I was elected best grappler in the world. You know, number 1 in the world last year at 40 years old. You know, and that's amazing. You know, and something that, you know, like I believe I can proud myself of
too.
I earned it, and I proud myself of. You know, especially coming on such a hard year was Corona, and then where a lot of people let their body go. So I actually said, this is gonna be the best year of my life. You know, if I can't work with my other business as much as I can, at least as an athlete, I'm gonna make sure to make a statement, and I did. You know, so I believe that, you know, like we're the sole responsible to everything that happens to our lives and especially to our success, you know? And we have to wake up every day and make it happen, you know? So there's no secret, there's no miracle, you know what I mean? It's just hard work, you know? You wake up, you believe, and you go chase it.
I was talking to my uncle who's very successful. I said, sometimes you have to have a little bit of luck. But he said, the harder you work, the luckier you get. And that's basically true in life. Would you say that fair statement?
Yeah, I think that, you know, like preparation plus timing is luck.
Yeah.
You know, if you prepare at the right time, you're a luck guy. You know, because then you're gonna be able to take on the gonna be able to take on the opportunities. You know, there's opportunities happening to all of us the entire time, but the problem is a lot of times the opportunities come and unfortunately you're like you're not ready for any reason. Sometimes mentally, sometimes physically, sometimes financially, and a lot of times we don't prepare ourselves to things that might come at us. So it's very important for us to be prepared all times. And I say that all the time, all interviews I do, after fights, before fights, I say like I'm always ready. I don't do camps for competition. I'm literally all year long prepared. You know, I believe that we have to be prepared for life. If we have any problem happen to us today, we can say like, hey, problem, please, can you come next month? I have to prepare myself to be there in order to be able to face you. It doesn't happen that way, you know? Life will beat us at any moment, you know, and we have to be prepared to face it, you know. So I'm just like feel that, you know, we always gotta be prepared. So I'm always taking care of myself, and there's no vocation to life, right? It's like wherever I go, if I go to Brazil to see my family, wake up early, train, work out, okay, now I can do everything else, you know. So being a champion was my choice.
Do you ever take the time where you just want to go, I need a break? What do you do when that time comes?
I jump on the salty water and then come back and then do it all over again.
That's it. I'm going to go in the water today and I'm going to rest.
I love nature, you know, and I'm always I travel a lot, you know. So everywhere I go, I make sure that I have contact with nature, you know, because it's important for us to have a moment with ourselves, touch Mother Nature. You know, I believe that I feel close to God when I'm there, and you know, jumping out of waterfalls and diving in the ocean. You know what I mean? Like having contact with animals. I believe that, you know, it's the truest way of feel the love of God in our lives. You know, and every time I'm kind of, you know, moody, sad, or exhausted, I make sure that I go home. You know, go jump on my nature there, and you know, like restore myself to be able to come back to battle. You know, again, there's no superhuman, man. None of us are. I'm not. You know what I mean? Far away from being one. You know, but again, you know, like I chose to be who I am. You know, so you just gotta go around to make it happen.
For all the jiu-jitsu people that are watching this, more technical, when you find yourself in jiu-jitsu, sometimes you find yourself, me more than others, find themselves in a bad spot. What's your mentality when you're mounted or someone's got your back? The match is not over, you're not lost, but you're down a little bit. What is going through your head at that point?
Whenever someone punches really hard and you feel dizzy, what do?
Just get back on your basics.
Get back on your basics, but the main thing is calm. You gotta stay calm. You know, you gotta stay calm because you have to think clearly. You know, because if you don't think clear, if you act up on the wrong moment, especially when you're already in trouble, you're just gonna dig yourself more into trouble.
It's gonna get worse.
You know? So the whole thing is, whenever you find yourself on a bad position, take a deep breath, take your time, and wait for the right time and an opportunity to get out. You know, and train, man. Work on
it's way more mental than it is technical.
Always is.
I mean, because the moves, there's not a secret special move. It's your mind.
There's tools, right? Like we all work with tools, right? Like if you're a handyman and you show up to a job and you don't have some tools to fix certain things, you're gonna have to go back home and find those tools. You know what I mean? Someone gets you in a position that you're not gonna be able to escape. Guess what? You're gonna have to tap.
Yeah.
But make sure to learn that so next time you're not gonna fall into the same hole. you know? So I believe that's very important for us to always be working on getting new tools to our game, getting new tools to our life skills, right? Life skills, jiu-jitsu skills, boxing skills. It's very important for us to always be finding new skills in order for us not to get caught on the traps, you know? So whenever you're there, now you're like, oh, if I'm here, I know that I need to use this moment to get out of here. Oh, now if the guy does this, I'm gonna use this moment to do this. Whenever I'm here, I can take him out of the top or the bottom. What is the best? I don't know. Let him move. He'll tell me what's gonna be the best way for me to escape out of this place, right? Whenever you're on I-95, you can just exit anywhere. There is some exits that you don't have to wait on it and time it to exit. And in Jiu-Jitsu, it's exactly the same, you know? Whenever you're in trouble, keep calm, wait for the right time, and you escape. In life, whenever you're in trouble, keep calm, relax, wait for the right time to escape. You know, whenever you're in trouble, anyhow, you know, you just breathe deeply, take your time, and everything's gonna be all right.
Very good. As far as it goes, the training for an athlete, you said you never do camp, but you do have some kind of regimen. Do you lift in the morning? Do you do jiu-jitsu at night? Do you run? How do you schedule your workouts?
We do champion fit, right? We train with Maggie. So Maggie is the conditioning trainer for the entire team. And, you know, and like we do champion fit Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, which is kind of a functional training, you know, sport specifics, you know. So
and athletes can join the gym just to join this. They can come and do this.
Yeah, they can come.
Champion Fit and Maggie. Yeah. What's Maggie's Instagram?
It's at the thing is championfit.us or Maggie Green Daddy. You guys can check her out. Some really great work for athletes, you know. And I train 3 times a week with her in the morning. Right after we finish that and go straight to pro training. So we do
double.
Yeah, back to back.
Wow, awesome.
You know, and that's pretty much it. And the evening just work, you know.
There you go.
And then Tuesday and Thursday we do no gi. So then I don't work out before, and then I just go do like some easy lifting afterwards, just to, you know, to.
So essentially, it's a double workout every day. It's some kind of
double workout every day. Like you don't need more than 2 hours, 2 hours and a half a day in order to get your training done, you know? Yeah. I believe it's quantity is quality. The quality of your training should be good, you know? And of course too, I can do that because I'm already at the level that I don't need to go search for that much more of information in order to be where I am. Guys who are building themselves up, they have to do that plus their studying time. Right. You know, which is go drilling, just do technique, you know, don't need to do a regular class maybe, but you have to just go there and study. Just like if you go to school and you expect your professor to teach you everything you need to learn, it's almost impossible, is that correct? Even because if you're a part of a regular class and you have 30 more people inside of the same class as you do, you'll be called something average. You're learning just as much as everybody else. So if you want to be something more than everybody else, you gotta do more. You gotta run the extra mile, right? So why do you do this? You go out and you go study. Nowadays we know internet helps so much. So there's online schools. We do have an online school called BG World Champion, but just Sensei YouTube, you know what I mean? Uh-huh. Or books or seminars. There's just so much information out there, you know, that you can, man, today, like you said, I'm training and I'm getting caught in mount. People are passing my guard. What I do? Well, let me try to start studying this game that relates to my physical abilities, and I feel that I can do. So you go there, you study your own. If you have any questions before class, you ask your professor. Whenever you train, you go there and you have the professor goals for you and you have your personal goals for yourself. You know what I mean? So it's very important for people to take responsibility on their personal growth. You know, because a lot of times people like want you to hold from their hands and like, oh, let's walk together. You know, yeah, you're gonna be good 10 years from now. You know, but if you want to actually get your learning curve from this to this, you have to yourself go after information, go after No, fix your own jiu-jitsu with your training partners, with friends, with whoever's around you. Because again, I tell the students every time after training that you can never leave the mats without having at least one question about that training. Because if you just come and learn a class, you come to a regular class, right? The class is made for the group. So the class made for the group, a lot of times the information that you're going to learn in the class is not necessarily what you need to your game.
Right.
Maybe, it's not for your game. So guess what? You went there, you learned something, but it's not specific. Jiu-Jitsu is like a puzzle. You have many pieces that you have to connect together. There's a lot of people who have a bunch of pieces spread up, but if I get a big, beautiful picture of something, break into pieces, I have this big puzzle, but if I put all the puzzle together, can I see the picture? No. So having that amount of information is useless. The information is only useful if it does this, if it's connected. Now I can make it happen. You know what I mean? So you gotta daily be searching for those connections into being putting things together in order for you and your body and your muscles to have a better understanding of how to put together all that information that you have inside of yourself.
Individually for yourself.
Individually for yourself.
Just for what's going to...
Not for the group, but for yourself. But again, so I train and professor is teaching takedowns. But whenever I roll, this guy's passing my guard. Oh, but tomorrow we're going to learn takedowns again. My man, but I got to learn this guy passing my guard here. Okay, professor, amazing, I learned this. But after I finish my class, I cannot leave the mat unless I get this guy who's passing my guard all the time. We're training and you're passing my guard all the time. I'm going to grab you. It's like, you're not going to leave today if you don't show me what you're doing. And if you know how to make me better out of it, how do I make it more difficult for you? Make me try to understand at least where my mistakes are. So I have awareness and I got better at that 1%. Imagine if every single day you better yourself at 1%. In the end of the year, you have improved 365. Come on. Yeah. It's amazing.
More than 100%.
More. But the problem is most people don't do that. You know what they do? They walk into the gym, they put their gi, or they put their gloves, they come here, they do a regular class, finish their class, they bow, and they leave. Did they really got better that day? Maybe not. Maybe they got a good workout, they had a good hangout with their friends, they had a good time, but did they get better? Not really. So that's why...
You went through the motions.
You went through the motions, you had a good time. It doesn't necessarily say that you got better. The getting better is, okay, I look to myself in the mirror and I see where my mistake is. Now I have to address that mistake in order not to do the mistake again. Or if I'll do it, at least now I know that I'm doing it and I'm gonna try to get better at it. I'm gonna try to time it differently. I'm gonna try to position myself differently. I'm gonna try to make that not happen again. You have to be conscious about that, and I have to fix that mistake, and that belief goes to everything, right? So in Jiu-Jitsu, not different. No, you got to put the puzzle together. You have to work specifically on yourself, and you can't depend solely on your professor to actually be able to provide those tools to you.
You have to do it for yourself too.
Man, Jiu-Jitsu is... I had trained Jiu-Jitsu for so many years. I have no idea how much more Jiu-Jitsu I have to learn. It's like forever. There's no one person in the world that can say that they know everything or not even close to knowing everything. It's like a shark blanket, Yeah. You cover the feet, the head comes out. You cover the head, the foot's out. So there's always room for improvement. There's always something new coming up. There's always new techniques, It's not like, Jiu-Jitsu, like there's like jab, cross. No, Jiu-Jitsu, there's every day people come with a different punch that you have no idea existed, with lapels and all this crazy stuff. So like if you stop actually searching for those informations, you get left behind.
It's stale.
You get left behind, So searching for those informations it's really important. Anything, you can be the best lawyer in the world today. You stop studying, 2 months from now, you're not the best anymore, right? I win an event today. If tomorrow my celebration isn't inside of the mats, guess what? By Wednesday, there's someone better than me,
That's the motivation to keep going.
That's the motivation to keep going,
How different was your first world championship to your last as far as the way the sport has evolved?
Oh, it's incredible, Everything, has grown so much, It's so much more professional, so much bigger in order of attention, in order of everything.
And technically it's different.
Water to wine.
Water to wine, wow.
water to wine. It's always evolving. It's always evolving.
And what projects are you working on besides your own competition? What else do you have going on right now?
Man, I'm working on a bunch of stuff. We're always trying to be busy.
Yeah, you're definitely busy.
So we have the gyms. Today we have 48 schools in 16 countries.
So there's 48 fight sports around the world.
Yeah.
Wow.
In 16 different countries. So we have that, and man, the team is amazing. Great people around, and like everybody super engaged and with an amazing mindset to spread the seed of Jiu-Jitsu. We have online schools, BJJ World Champion, which we do a great job. BJJ World Champion.
.com.
And that's our online school, that I believe that's super important, especially we built BJJ World Champion, which is the only online school in Jiu-Jitsu that tracks and measures your learning curve, right? Because there's a bunch of video platforms, but this one actually is based on curriculum and tracks your improvement. It's super cool. And I did it exactly because I want to be able to provide to all my affiliations and my schools. And I know how hard it was for me to be in Mato Grosso do Sul. There, I didn't have my teacher close to me, didn't have, people close to me. And again, there's all my boys, and I want to be able to provide them the same quality and the same love that I do to my students here in Miami. So I built this platform, and it's super amazing. And I've been able to communicate with everyone, and not only inside of the school, inside of the team, but to abroad, to be able to spread the word of Jiu-Jitsu. I'm working on different projects too. We're putting together one event called the Monsoon Fight League, which is going to be a boxing event.
Oh, very exciting.
It's going to be happening in Abu Dhabi. We're negotiating, we're doing still everything with the government there. And it's going to be more like what's on a trend, get influencers to fight influencers. And I can't really say the names or anything, but that's something super cool that we're doing overseas. We have a company of commodities trading that I'm working a lot towards that as well, and athlete, professor, all of that good stuff all together.
What's the website for the gym? Just to join Jiu-Jitsu.
You guys can go to fightsportsglobal.com, and there you're gonna have the website of all of our gyms throughout the world.
Nice.
In one website you can find every one of Fight Sports gyms around the world. And that's pretty much it, man.
People, again, I just started going for the last 18 months. I've been going, and I'm having a blast. As a beginner white belt there that gets beat up by everybody, when you go to other gyms, you don't get beat up by anybody.
No, right?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
You think you suck, and then you go and you realize you're not as bad as you thought you were.
Yeah.
And it's very refreshing. And to have the curriculum at your access with the BJJ World Champ makes it, I do as many privates as I can, and it makes it very simple for, even if if Siraj, who's one of your black belts, if he's not available and somebody else is, the curriculum is the same. So it's not, for me, it's like, before I tried Jiu-Jitsu before, and it was like one guy taught you this way, one guy taught you that way, and it was too, like you said, there's too many pieces of the puzzle.
Yeah.
But you've narrowed it down to the pieces that you need at least.
Yeah.
Especially as a beginner, so that it makes it so you're on the same track all the time. So whether it's a brown belt helping me, a purple belt, or a black belt, we're all on the same track, and they're not confusing me. It's funny, Joe Rogan talked about how humbling it is to go to Jiu-Jitsu. He's a big star now, and he loves to go to Jiu-Jitsu, and how humbling it is. And I was watching him say that, and I also hear you say that. But I find that it's the opposite. I find that when the world beats you down, and you feel like you can't get anything right, you're not making enough money, you're not doing a good enough job, you're not the best father or husband. When you come to the Jiu-Jitsu gym, you forget all about that stuff, and you can get one guy. You feel like Superman again. And when you go back to your regular life, you go back with a lot more confidence, maybe than you walked in with. And that's done a very strange thing for me. And I don't come there because I need to come. I only come for that. I come for that feeling. So when I can't take my everyday life, I feel like I'm losing. If I can come have a little victory in the Jiu-Jitsu school, I go back to my regular life, I feel like a winner again.
Yeah.
And it gives me confidence to be myself again, instead of feeling like you're falling short. Mm-hmm. And it's been really a unique experience. And that's why I come all the time, really just for that. That's really
so
what it
cool.
is.
That's so cool. The challenge, I think that challenge makes us still alive.
Absolutely.
Now, us challenging ourselves every day, I believe that makes us feel alive. And I really relate to that. I believe that the daily smash that you get put into there really makes you grow. Makes you grow and makes you excited to come back and try it again.
And it's not convenient. It's not close for me, but it's worth the trip essentially. And my daughter, my goal really, the reason why I did is because my daughter's 4.5. She started at 3.5.
The most beautiful.
Oh, thank you very much.
Beautiful princess in the world.
My wife knows I'm 51% responsible. Anyway, so she, I know that one day she's gonna want to quit because people quit. Like you did a little bit. Everybody does. I did.
Yeah.
I want her not to quit. I want her to stay at least until she goes to college. So 14 years, that's not asking too much.
No, right?
No, so she's gonna say she quits and I'm gonna say we're not quitting, we're going, I wanna lead by example. And that was the reason why I started. And then this thing happened when, like I said, I was having a hard time with my regular life, feeling like I'm not winning, and I go there and get a little win, and it has changed my whole total outlook. So you do more for people than you might realize.
Thank you.
It's not just humbleize, making, that's that a word, humbleize?
Humble pie.
It's not
We
giving
just
someone
made it
humble
right
pie,
now.
right? It's not just giving someone humble pie when they're too big for their britches and then brings them back down to normal. I think for a lot of people, it's the opposite. I think if you're not the toughest guy, if you're not the strongest guy, if you're not the smartest guy, you're not the richest guy, you can go and learn jiu-jitsu and have these little victories and you feel like a superstar.
Yeah, I do believe that every one of us have a champion inside of us, But a lot of times it has to be squeezed out of you.
Yeah, well, you get squeezed over there.
It has to be squeezed out of you, Because again, I saw a boy, I believe his name is Michael, this kid walked into the gym and he could barely walk. Truly, he could barely walk. His dad took him there and he's like one of those 13-year-old kids, that especially now, the kids of my time, they're like, I was full of confidence. I really thought I was 13, that I was 9 foot tall. I really thought that was the shit when I was a kid, But the kids nowadays, you see that it's more common today.
That's why.
Because they're so inside of the phone and they're like this, even their shoulders are inside. They look down, they don't look in the eye. Most of them are not athletic because they're not playing on the streets, they're not climbing trees. They're like, it's a different life.
Playing baseball.
So whatever, So this kid comes in and super shy, looking down, no physical ability whatsoever, and we put them throughout, we started the fundamentals class, really basically guiding from the hands. And from there, I believe that it's a process of maturing and learning and experiencing everything, right? Because what I really love in Jiu-Jitsu is that the amount of trust that we have to have on each other is huge, right? Someone is really choking you, and you don't know that guy, but you trust he's gonna let it go. Otherwise, you're gonna die. Someone's gonna grab your arm, and you trust that is not gonna break your arm. So the amount of trust that you have to people that sometimes you don't even know, it's amazing. So the bond that it creates is huge, And now people, especially here in America, in Brazil, people kiss, jump on the lap, do all that stuff. But here, even when I lived here, I would jump on my mom and kiss her and my sisters, and then I would see them between them. Let's take a family picture. It's like, what the fuck? Don't you guys love each other? Like, come on, jump and kiss, and unfortunately, you guys don't have that here. It's not people don't touch, people don't show that kind of affection. But for you to be able to literally be hugging someone, experience that physical contact, be sweating together, I believe that creates creates bond, but creates some sort of strength inside of everyone, that confidence that builds up on them, not only just to fight, but to relate to people, to relate to life, to relate to struggles, because I believe that our personal growth is much more than actually just learning how to fight.
Absolutely.
A lot of people, people don't talk to each other anymore.
No.
And this guy's gonna sit on your head. You better talk to him. You better talk to him, better shake his hand. You have to shake the hand, look to everybody's face. Every day in the end of class, you have to shake at least 20 people's hands before you go home. You're gonna look in the eye. You don't look down. If I'm talking to someone, if I'm shaking hands after class, the guy say, shh, come here. Look here.
Great.
You know, like people gotta, shake hands, like strong handshake, look in the eyes, show show the power there is inside of you. You know,
the microphone being
and so I believe that that's something that does a lot to our students. And this kid, I came yesterday because he's on a beginner's class, so I'm not on Dennis' class. So I'm watching yesterday, and this kid was simply killing it. He was killing it. He was taking down, passing guard, jumping on the back, like really athletic stuff. You know what I mean? That I was like, it was that kid that came here, didn't even look for it. You know what I mean? And for me, that's the most amazing thing there is. Getting this stronger, making it stronger. It's cool, like for me, I was always an athlete. I was always loved to fight. For someone to make me a champion, it's okay. But I was already born for it. But you get someone who cannot look someone in the eye, that's not confident about themselves, that don't have no physical abilities, that, have a lot of personal insecurities, and you transform that person into becoming a champion, my man, there's a miracle, That's what makes truly everything worth for us. At what we do, because I know that you do a lot of that as well, So I believe that's the greatest gift there is, and that's why at first I chose Jiu Jitsu, to be able to change people's lives, and we're doing it.
Absolutely. You do feel there's a definite sense of, of community there. Like you feel a part of it, you get invited. They're always getting invited to something.
Yeah.
You can't go there without getting invited to dinner afterwards, drinks afterwards, party afterwards, a picnic, a barbecue. You have once you become a member of Fight Sports, you have a whole new social life. Yeah. It's remarkable. And
it's good because the people there, I was very worried when I moved to Miami because here's a party place, huh? And it's hard because people like to party,
Yeah.
It is what it is. But there we could actually build a community that people love to sport.
Yeah.
So everybody's practicing not only jiu-jitsu, but people are running, cycling, doing boxing, MMA. They're doing a bunch of other sports, that gives them a good lifestyle. And a lot of people even say, talk about Miami, say, how do you like Miami? It's like, man, how you can say to living in Miami?
I know, I don't get it.
Maybe you don't enjoy the same Miami I do.
Yeah. Oh.
Because the Miami I live in is fucking amazing. You have
Everything.
The nature of this place. The nature is if you ask me where is the bar, I have no idea. Where is the nice restaurant? I have no idea.
Do you ever go to Lita State Park?
I live right there. I go paddling there. I paddleboard there. My house is right there. You know what I mean?
Trails.
So all trails, water, mountain biking, trees, Florida Keys right here, the Caribbean's right on the side. Man, the lifestyle here is amazing. It's just what you do with what you have in hands, right? If you present the same to two different people the same opportunity, they will do two different things with that same opportunity, right? We do have an opportunity of living in a beautiful place. This is such a blessed place, man. We have such amazing weather, beautiful place. The mix of cultures we have here is so cool, and there's just so much to teach us, So if we look in the right way, the way I do at least, man, I say a prayer, I tell everyone, I would never change Miami to nowhere else in the world. I love living in Miami. I love the lifestyle here.
Wow.
And I love the change that we could do to actually the community that have been around us, I do believe that, our team could actually put a little seed of, of a community of people who love playing sports, love health, love family, and being able to have that here was a second home. Whenever I chose to come here, I left behind the most precious thing in the world for me. My family. So family is everything to me. So for me to be able to leave them behind, was very hard, and it is still hard every day.
Yeah.
But being able to build a second one here with people with same values, same passion to life, and same core values that we share there is something very fulfilling, and makes me really grateful to God to be able to give me the opportunity that we have into having everything we have.
That was great. Is there any competition coming up for you that you know of already?
I just signed up this week. there's a big event coming up on September, end of September. There's gonna be a 8-man bracket in Austin, Texas. That's pretty much the 8 best guys in the world right now.
Wow.
They put everybody on a bracket and porrada.
Nice. Where can we see this at?
You know, this you guys gonna be able to see on Flow Grappling. You know, so it's gonna be the Flow Grappling Grand Prix. It's gonna be the event of the year, and all the best kids in the world right now are there.
Nice.
They invite Old Borg, Old Borg to go there, and
Kids and the man.
yeah, you know,
Boys and
they invited Old Borg to go there and take the prize. You know, so that's the goal. You know, like man, I feel good. I just came back from I spent some time in Brazil now with my family, so I feel super recharged. And I have pretty much a month and a half to get prepared.
Oh, it's very exciting.
So,
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna
This
be
is
cool.
cool. So where can we find, we have to get all these websites straightened out now. Champion Fit, what's the website for Champion Fit? Maggie?
It's championfit.us.
Championfit.us. We have fightsportsglobal.com.
Yeah.
And we have your Instagram, which is at
Cyborg BJJ,
Cyborg BJJ. And what's Maggie's? At
Maggie Green Daddy.
Okay, so there it is. So you can follow him, find him, message him, and then come to the gym and join. In there's 16 countries. There's got to be a Fight Sports near you somewhere.
Yes, here in Florida, we're all over the place.
Yeah.
But again, guys, you know, like if you can't find one of our schools to come train, please, you're more than welcome to do so. If you come to the headquarters here in Miami, it's paradise of Jiu-Jitsu. You know, truly,
Beautiful.
It's a temple. You know, it's a temple for our sport. You know. And if any of you guys at any time wanna experience, you don't need anything. Just short to shorts, t-shirt. We're gonna get you straight there, and you're gonna be more than welcome to enjoy the ride.
Last question: who's your favorite boxer of all time? Boxer, not MMA. Who's your favorite boxer of all time?
Tyson.
Really?
Yeah.
Another Tyson, huh?
Yeah, I like Tyson. I like Tyson.
You got that.
I like the eye of the tiger. I like he was brutal on his prime. Not much on the personal side, you know, but his boxing, him as an athlete. You know, because there's always the athlete and the persona, right? You know, like I to tell the truth, I don't even know much about his character and his persona. I know that, you know, a lot of things happen in everybody's life, right? And I don't judge, but I didn't really get to study what he did on his personal life. But as an athlete, he was amazing. You know, he was amazing. I remember of wanting to watch boxing because of him. I know there was great guys like Mr. Muhammad Ali there. That was sometimes even a better athlete than Tyson was.
But before your time, though.
You know, but it's before my time. I didn't experience that excitement of wanting to see Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? I never had that, and I had that with Tyson. You know, so it was super cool to always to watch him, and you know, I'm happy that, you know, he's coming back and doing these presentation fights. You know what I mean? It's cool to see, you know, a guy, at least at the age that he is, wanting to step back, want to prepare himself for something. Again, you know, I believe that's a great motivation to every one of us, right? There's a lot of people there that are saying that I'm too old. You know, like...
Can't think that way.
They're full of excuses themselves why not to be, you know? So I really appreciate those guys who have passed their time, but still, they're willing to be in shape. They're willing to, you know, like to put their face on the line again.
And your favorite MMA fighter of all time?
MMA fighter? Rodrigo Minotauro.
Oh, Minotauro, yeah.
Minotauro is the man. That guy is the man. That guy is the man on and off the mats. Gentle, amazing, a great friend, brutal when he had to. He used Jiu Jitsu, like I think he's one of the guys who like most use Jiu Jitsu in MMA, you know? And like as an athlete, he was just like amazing. And as a person, he was always willing to help everyone, a huge heart. And he's a great businessman, you know, has done great for himself. So I find him as an inspiration, not only as an athlete, but as someone who could actually project himself outside of his career being a great man, you know. So he's a good friend of mine. I look up to him a lot, and that's it.
Okay, well, this has been a blast. This is way better than I thought big, but it was bigger. So I really enjoyed it. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Dino, man.
That was
Thank
awesome.
you for our friendship, bro.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
My brother, thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Amazing. Great to be here with you guys. And again, thanks for the opportunity, guys. Thank you for the love. Puss.